The recent violence along the Thailand-Cambodia border, a stark reminder of the fragility of peace, is just the latest episode in a long and complex history, a history etched in blood and defined by unwavering national sentiments. It's a chapter in a century-old struggle over national pride and territory, a dispute that has tested diplomatic relations and ignited passions on both sides. The heart of this conflict lies in competing claims and interpretations of history. At the center is the Preah Vihear temple, a silent witness to the ebb and flow of power and politics in the region. It's not just any structure, it's an ancient Hindu sanctuary, a testament to a shared cultural heritage that ironically fuels division. Perched atop the Dangrek Mountains, it commands a breathtaking view, a strategic location that has made it a coveted prize. This sacred site is revered by both nations, a place of pilgrimage and spiritual significance, yet also a symbol of discord. For centuries, people from both sides have come to worship here, blurring the lines of nationality and belief. The modern dispute began, not in ancient times, but in the era of colonial cartography and shifting geopolitical landscapes. It was ignited when French colonial maps, drawn during their administration of Cambodia, placed the temple within Cambodian territory, a decision that would sow the seeds of future conflict. This cartographic decision was a bitter pill for Thailand to swallow, a decision Thailand has never fully accepted, leading to decades of diplomatic wrangling and simmering resentment. In 1962, the International Court of Justice stepped in, hoping to resolve the issue through legal means and bring an end to the escalating tensions. The court awarded the temple to Cambodia, a landmark ruling that was celebrated in Phnom Penh but met with dismay in Bangkok. However, the ruling was not without its ambiguities, as it left the surrounding 4.6 square kilometers in legal limbo, a decision that would prove to be a major source of contention in the years to come. This ambiguity has fueled decades of tension, creating a volatile situation along the border and hindering efforts to achieve lasting peace. With both sides using the temple, this magnificent structure has become more than just a place of worship. It's a potent symbol of sovereignty and grievance, a rallying point for nationalist sentiments and a constant reminder of unresolved historical issues. The 2008 UNESCO World Heritage listing intended to protect and preserve the temple for future generations, ironically reignited hostilities, pushing the two nations closer to the brink of war. The decision to list the temple solely under Cambodia's name was seen by some in Thailand as a provocation. This act turned the site into a flashpoint for military clashes, transforming a place of peace into a zone of conflict. The border's dense forests and unmarked terrain, a natural barrier between the two countries, further complicate the situation, making accidental incursions and escalation almost inevitable. The lack of clear demarcation lines creates opportunities for misunderstanding and miscalculation. Soldiers on both sides live in constant tension, knowing that their actions could have far-reaching consequences. They stand guard, ever vigilant, knowing that a single misstep could reignite conflict, plunging the region back into turmoil. The legacy of Preah Vihear remains a complex and challenging one, demanding careful diplomacy and a commitment to peaceful resolution. On July 23, 2025, the fragile peace shattered before dawn. Cambodian sources claimed Thai troops advanced into disputed territory. Thai officials insisted their patrol was ambushed on Thai soil. Warnings were exchanged, but confusion and mistrust quickly escalated into gunfire. Within minutes, small arms fire gave way to artillery barrages, echoing through the mountains and terrifying nearby villagers. The fighting spread along several kilometers, marking the most serious clash in over a decade. Only after urgent talks between commanders did a shaky ceasefire take hold. The aftermath left the region tense, with civilians reeling from the sudden violence. The clash left at least 8 soldiers dead, 5 Cambodians and 3 Thais, and dozens wounded. Artillery shells struck villages on both sides, destroying homes, a market in Bum Srol, and a school in Sriam. Hundreds of families fled seeking shelter in makeshift camps set up by governments and aid agencies. The displaced faced fear, uncertainty, and the loss of livelihoods as fields and markets became no-go zones. Old traumas resurfaced with every loud noise sparking new anxiety. Local economies reliant on cross-border trade and tourism ground to a halt. The violence shattered a decade of fragile stability. For border communities, the sense of security was lost overnight. In the aftermath, both governments launched fierce diplomatic offensives. Thailand accused Cambodia of aggression, insisting its troops were attacked on Thai soil. Cambodia countered, claiming self-defense against a Thai incursion. Each side released maps and statements to bolster their narrative, fueling confusion and nationalist fervor at home. Despite the rhetoric, both governments called for dialogue and agreed to emergency talks, though neither accepted blame. The border remained on high alert, with peace hanging by a thread. The international community responded swiftly, urging restraint and dialogue. ASEAN, seeking regional stability, called for a ceasefire and offered to mediate. The UN echoed these calls, reminding both nations of their obligations to resolve disputes peacefully. Major powers, including the US, EU, and China, pressed for negotiations and respect for international law. Under this pressure, Thailand and Cambodia agreed to emergency talks in Bangkok on July 26. The goal: solidify the ceasefire, prevent further clashes, and set a roadmap for negotiations. The world watched closely, hoping for a breakthrough. The outcome would determine whether peace or renewed conflict lay ahead. The roots of the Preah Vihear dispute stretch back to colonial-era mapmaking. A French-drawn map placed the temple in Cambodia, despite earlier treaties suggesting otherwise. Thailand's long silence on the map later counted against it in the 1962 ICJ ruling, which awarded the temple to Cambodia but left the surrounding land unresolved. This ambiguity created a permanent flashpoint, with both nations stationing troops in the disputed zone. The conflict is deeply tied to national identity, with politicians on both sides using it to rally support. Any compromise is politically risky, making resolution elusive. The legacy of colonial borders and ambiguous rulings continues to fuel mistrust and violence. For the residents living along these contested borders, life is a delicate balance. They navigate daily routines amidst the looming presence of geopolitical tensions. When conflict erupts, it's not just a news headline. It's personal and devastating, tearing apart the very fabric of their existence. Homes are reduced to rubble and the familiar landscape transforms into a war zone. Sunan Preah, a Thai farmer, recounted the harrowing experience of fleeing with his family as shells rained down around them, a moment etched forever in their memories. The fear was palpable, the urgency undeniable. "We just grabbed the children and ran," he said, his voice still trembling with the memory of that day. Every parent's instinct is to protect their children, and in that moment, survival was the only thing that mattered. On the Cambodian side, Chesak, along with her frightened children, sought refuge within the walls of a pagoda, finding temporary solace in its sacred space. The pagoda became a sanctuary for many, a beacon of hope amidst the chaos. They were uncertain when, or even if, they would ever be able to return to their homes, their fields, their lives. The uncertainty was a heavy burden, a constant reminder of the fragility of their situation. Farmers, the backbone of these communities, suddenly lost access to their fields, the source of their livelihoods and sustenance. The crops withered, and the land lay barren, a stark symbol of the disruption caused by the conflict. The vibrant markets and bustling cross-border trade, once the lifeblood of the region, vanished overnight, leaving behind empty stalls and shattered dreams. The economic impact was devastating, pushing families further into poverty. Generations of shared culture, traditions, and kinship, painstakingly built over decades, were abruptly torn apart by the insidious forces of fear and suspicion. The bonds that had once united these communities were now strained, threatening to break under the pressure of conflict. Dr. Anangrat Fan Udom, a keen observer of these border dynamics, astutely observed, highlighting the unique interconnectedness of these communities. Her insights shed light on the human cost of the conflict. These communities, she noted, often have far more in common with each other, sharing cultural practices and familial ties, than they do with their distant capitals. This shared identity is what makes the conflict so deeply painful. Now, the familiar rhythms of daily life have been replaced by the stark reality of military checkpoints, the eerie silence of empty markets, and the pervasive sense of abandonment. The vibrant tapestry of life has been replaced by a monochrome landscape of fear and uncertainty. Even if peace does eventually return to these troubled lands and the guns fall silent, the scars of conflict will remain, a constant reminder of the trauma endured. The psychological scars and the deep-seated broken trust within the communities will linger for generations, hindering the healing process and making reconciliation a long and arduous journey. Ultimately, the true and often unseen cost of conflict is disproportionately borne by the innocent civilians, the peaceful villagers, and the families who simply yearn to live their lives in peace, free from the ravages of war. Their resilience, however, offers a glimmer of hope for a brighter future. Preah Vihear is far more than just a temple. It's a complex tapestry woven with threads of history, culture, and national identity. Its significance transcends its physical structure, resonating deeply within the hearts and minds of both Cambodians and Thais. It's a potent symbol of national identity and pride for both countries, a shared yet contested heritage that has shaped their relationship for centuries. The temple stands as a testament to the enduring power of cultural symbols in international relations. For Cambodia, Preah Vihear is an invaluable link to the glorious Khmer Empire, a period of unparalleled artistic and architectural achievement. It represents a tangible connection to their ancestral legacy, a source of profound cultural and historical continuity. It's a source of immense pride, so much so that the temple's image graces the nation's currency, a constant reminder of its cultural importance and national significance. This visual representation reinforces its place in the Cambodian national consciousness. For Thailand, the temple's loss, adjudicated by the International Court of Justice, remains a sensitive issue, and for some, a national wound. It touches upon deeply held beliefs about territorial integrity and historical claims. This historical grievance continues to fuel political tensions, occasionally erupting into nationalist fervor and impacting diplomatic relations between the two nations. The temple serves as a constant reminder of unresolved historical disputes. Strategically, the temple's dramatic clifftop location offers unparalleled views of the surrounding landscape. This elevated position provides a commanding military vantage point, making its control a matter of intense strategic importance and fiercely contested by both sides throughout history. The high ground offers a significant tactical advantage. Its designation as a UNESCO World Heritage Site has brought global attention to the temple and the surrounding region. However, this international recognition has also inadvertently intensified the underlying dispute, as both nations seek to leverage the temple's status to bolster their claims. The world's attention has amplified the stakes. Artillery and gunfire have, on occasion, punctuated the tense atmosphere along the border. These armed conflicts have already scarred the ancient stones, leaving visible marks of violence on the temple's delicate structure. Further conflict in the area could cause irreparable damage to this irreplaceable cultural treasure, potentially erasing centuries of history and artistic achievement. The temple's immense cultural value is precisely what makes it so vulnerable, and puts it at such great risk in this ongoing dispute. Its significance as a historical and artistic masterpiece makes it a prime target in times of conflict. The ongoing fight endangers not just the lives of those caught in the crossfire, but also a shared heritage that belongs to all of humanity, a testament to the ingenuity and artistic brilliance of the Khmer civilization. Its preservation is a global responsibility. As the guns fall silent, attention turns to diplomacy. The immediate priority is to maintain the ceasefire and prevent new clashes, possibly by pulling troops back and improving communication. Long-term peace will require both sides to move beyond blame and negotiate a final border settlement, with ASEAN and the UN likely playing key roles. Failure risks renewed war, economic ruin, and the destruction of Preah Vihear itself. The path forward demands political courage and real compromise. The world is watching. Will leaders match words with action? Peace is possible, but it remains on a knife's edge.